You are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is the Morning Buzz, where every weekday at 8 we bring you all the
Woo!
things. All of the
Woo!
things. All the things. Every single thing. Everything that you need to know is here. If it's not here, it's probably not important.
It's
I mean, it
nowhere.
might be,
Mm-hmm.
but
It's not. Trust
nah,
me.
yeah, don't
No.
worry about it. It's probably not important. Don't worry about it. It's here, is what you need to be, what you
Mm-hmm.
need to know. I am the fifth member of the Backstreet Boys, as far as you know, Tara, and I'm joined by my co-host.
I'm their ghostwriter, Jazz.
Yes, you would absolutely. There's no way they were. They said I want it that way. There's no way they could put that many words together in a sentence
Together
without help.
in that succession without help.
No, they
Exactly.
couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. I don't trust them. But anyway, what are we talking about today?
Yo, Tara, girl, we got a lot to talk about. We got HBCUs giving away almost $700,000 to their students. Yay, yay, yay. We got beaches being free, maybe, maybe not. President Obama buying a gun? Question mark. Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but we got a lot going on today. I
It's
don't
just
know.
heavy duty and all that and more. Hate when people mess with my beaches. It's not nice. Not nice
Tara's
to
very
mess with
official
someone's
term
beaches.
for beaches.
Yeah.
The actual beaches. Don't be nasty. The actual
Oh.
beaches with the sand.
Yeah, them too. But before we get started, our regular news contributor Mary is out for the day, getting her wisdom teeth pulled. Hope she's doing well, sending good vibes, lots of love.
All the love,
But
man.
all the love. But for today, we are joined by Emma.
Thank you, guys. Hi, this is Emma filling in for Mary, and here are the latest news updates on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Millions of Texans are still without power as the South prepares for another round of snow, ice, and freezing temperatures. Government officials are desperately trying to restore power. Japan began their vaccine rollout today as the Olympic Games come closer and closer. There is doubt that they will be able to vaccinate enough people in time for the Games, causing fear and anxiety amongst the citizens. The Trump Plaza in Atlantic City is set for implosion today, and the public can watch live on Atlantic City's website at 9 a.m. So if you want to watch that after this, go for it. And it will be mostly sunny today with highs in the low 30s and lows in the low 20s. It will be mostly sunny, but winter weather advisory begins tomorrow morning. So watch out for that.
Cool. Oh, thank you so much, Emma.
Thank you. I'm an implosion. How about that, huh, Tara?
Yeah.
Implosion.
Much like the dude himself, it's imploding at the end of its term.
Boom cha.
Yeah. Anyway,
Thank
that's
you,
gonna be
Emma,
interesting. I might watch the replay later just because.
for fun. Thank you, Emma.
Just for fun. Thank you so much,
Yeah, of
Emma.
course.
All right. Now, up next, my very own personal Stephen A. Smith. Sports by Matt.
Hello, everyone. As we look ahead on Hump Day, Montclair's women and men's basketball team will be taking on Rutgers Newark this upcoming weekend. And Montclair's swim teams for both the women and the men will be taking on William Patterson and Ramapo to start off the season. In the NBA, the Brooklyn Nets took on the Phoenix Suns last night without Kyrie, without KD, and despite being down by 24 points at one point in the game, they came back and won 128 to 124. The Knicks played tonight against the Orlando Magic and look to extend their win streak. In the NHL, later today, we will see the Rangers take on the Flyers and the Devils take on the Bruins. And just 2 days ago, we saw the Devils beat the Rangers 5-2. The Rangers, currently on a 4-game losing streak, will look to steer the ship right in the direction. Currently, we're in mid-February, which means we're pretty close to March, which means March Madness. It is going to be going on this year as games are going to be played and tournament favorites emerge. And in the NFL, who says kickers aren't important? The Miami Dolphins have signed all-pro kicker Jason Sanders to a 5-year extension worth $22 million. And Trevor Lawrence, the likely favorite to be the number one pick in the upcoming draft, underwent surgery on his left shoulder and will make a full recovery before the season starts. And today in sports history, in 1978, the first Ironman triathlon, so swim, bike, and run, was held in Kona, Hawaii, something that is still very impressive to this day. And also in 2007, the 56th NBA All-Star Game took place, where the Western Conference defeated the Eastern Conference 153 to 132, with the MVP being Kobe Bryant. Anytime you get the chance to say something nice or give a shout out to one of the greatest to ever do it, you gotta take the chance. Shout out to you, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace. Let's send it back to you guys now.
Thanks so much, Matt. Also, I hope
That was awesome.
it was awesome. I want to send a very special good morning to all you Rangers fans out there. How you doing? How's that 5-2 feel? I just want to know because I don't know. Devils
We
fans
wouldn't
take it
know
where
what
we
that's
could get it. It
like.
doesn't usually, good things don't usually last for that long around here, so we take it where we could get it. Anyway, thank you so much, Matt. More than welcome to hang around. Love having you here. But Jazz, we're gonna start off with probably I would say the most important story today.
Of
Right off the bat.
course. I would agree. This is according to apnews.com, and it's historically Black colleges to get $650,000 to preserve campuses, right? So for those of you guys who don't know, a brief history lesson. I know you guys probably have class later, but let's school you. You know, here in the morning buzz, we bring you the fun and the education. So the fun education, that's a word. I said
Trademark.
what I said. Okay, that's a word. Historical Black colleges are colleges that were created to accept Black students, male and female, because they weren't allowed to attend the regular universities, right? We know that our country has a very ugly history, and things like that happened, right? So this is actually a big step in the right direction because a lot of HBCUs, albeit they'll be great schools, a lot of Black students can't attend them because of funding. So according to the article, several historical Black colleges and universities will receive more than $650,000 in grants to preserve their campuses as a part of a new initiative announced on Tuesday. All right. The funding for the HBCUs comes as leaders of the colleges and universities continue to advocate for the additional funding nearly a year into the COVID-19 pandemic, which has threatened the survival of many already chronically underfunded schools. We all know, Sis Rona said that we're going to make your life hard.
Yeah.
Details about the initiative were shared with the Associated Press ahead of the announcement. All right, so like I said, this is probably, and like Tara says, probably one of the most important stories today. It's actually part of, again, this is according to the Associated Press, it's a part of a larger initiative by the National Trust, which launched the Action Fund in 2017 as a $25 million campaign to preserve Black culture and celebrate the historic achievements of the Black community. This is, if you didn't know, I'm Black. I hope you knew that though, because, I hope you saw my face
I knew that.
at some point. I hope you saw my face at some point. And if you don't, I mean, if you ever want to, you should maybe possibly at one point check out our YouTube channel. So, maybe you could see what I look like, right? You didn't know I'm Black. So
I knew that.
Yeah, Tara knew that. So you get a gold star for you. Ding. I just want to let you know that this is a huge, huge, huge thing for me, even though I don't attend an HBCU. A lot, like those schools are severely, severely underfunded. So when it comes time to have Black students want to celebrate Black culture and things of that nature, a lot of successful Black people attended historically Black colleges and universities. So I think this is huge. And I love this for them because the article is right. COVID-19 pandemic hit a lot of businesses, HBCUs included, that were barely
right.
So this is very near and dear to me, and I'm so, so happy that they're getting these grants, and I hope this is just the beginning for them.
Right. It's one of those things where, like, it's cliche at this point, but, like, stuff that was happening before the pandemic started hasn't waited for us to figure the pandemic out, So, like, issues with funding with these really important historically Black schools, like, it wasn't, I assume this was already a discussion before the pandemic, making sure these schools had enough funding to take in the right amount of students and be able to serve the Black community as needed and get people the opportunities to move through the world of education and get what they needed to get out of it. But stuff doesn't stop because of the pandemic. That's something a lot of people have started to come to terms with.
Realize.
and
Yeah.
it's cool to see stuff like this where it's issues are getting acknowledged. I mean, I feel like that's a little too rare. Like where we see stuff getting acknowledged head on, but it's really good to see, and I'm glad that we got to run this story because it's a big deal, you know.
It's a look in the right. I was gonna say step, but step hasn't been taking it. It's a look in the right direction. You just
Right,
gotta start the momentum.
right.
So
It's right, and that $25 million campaign to preserve Black culture and celebrate the historic achievements of the Black community. That is that's a big deal. You know, that's the type of thing where that type of money changes people's lives. You know, like
absolutely.
that could change a lot, and to see that, it's it's interesting, and it's like you said, it's a look. Like it's almost a step. It's a look in the right direction. I like that.
It's a head turn. So it's like the
It's a
direction
head
is that
turn.
way and turn the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. I mean, it's not a lot in the scope of things, but that's a lot of money to put down on something like this. It's good though. I mean, I think it's a good thing to start looking at this direction.
I know Chris Paul, he's a
Mhm.
point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
CP3.
Yeah, that's right. And so before games, the players will walk from the tunnels into the locker rooms, get changed. And Chris Paul has like worn like a different HBCU, like probably 20 different times because he's always just trying to like raise awareness of it.
Exactly. And it's just those little things. Like I know if you watch a lot of like earlier like black sitcoms, if you pay attention, like a lot of them will have sweaters of different HBCUs. But like Matt said, like it's good to kind of put them, on that. And when I said a lot of successful black people did attend HBCUs, so it's not like they're just there for nothing. But yeah, we love to see it. We love that for, the United States. We love that for our people. And we love to see it. But speaking of money, right? And speaking of a lot of money being all put in one place. Oh wait, no. Before we even get to that, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Nah, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
I had to get up real quick. If you follow me on Facebook, we just went on a journey.
You took a trip.
The Wi-Fi in my room decided now was not the time, so
She
I
was
had
being
to
a
move.
hater. It's fine. The Wi-Fi was
It's
just
all
being a
right.
hater.
It's all
But
right. No, I will not disable my ad blocker. But this story is from NJ.com. And before we get into the money story, because the money story I've been excited about since last night, because that is
yeah, that's why I
wild.
said that's a treat for you guys. We have to
That is
get the appetizer before we get to the main
right.
course.
But
What's the appetizer?
This is a very Jersey story, so I'm glad we
This is
got to
a
talk
very
about this.
Tara story.
It's very Tara story because Tara grew up going to and loves the Jersey Shore, Wildwood included, and that's what this story is about. So, this is from NJ.com, appropriately, and it's titled Beaches Are Free at the Wildwoods, but Maybe Not for Long. Oh boy. Perennial debate in the Wildwoods involving free beach access in 3 municipalities is getting a fresh look. Officials in Wildwood, Wildwood Crest, and North Wildwood say they're launching another review at requiring visitors to buy beach tags to deflect some of the cost away from local property owners. Wildwood Mayor Pete Byron said the latest discussion is in an early stage and that he does not see any possibilities for imposing fees in time for this summer. Byron added it would make sense for the 3 municipalities to reach a collective decision rather than proceeding individually on the contentious topic given their shared interest. So if you've been to any of the beaches on the first barrier island, like Point Pleasant, Chadwick Beach, Lavalette, that island, you know that it varies depending on who owns that slice of beach that you're looking at, right? So which like different beach badges cost different things, so I guess that's what they're trying to avoid here. But I don't know, man.
I told you
I
guys it's
have
a very Terra
opinions.
story.
I have opinions. I mean, the Jersey Shore is such a weird spot because, in terms of the people that actually live there now, from my this is anecdotal. I don't have the data to back it up, but from my observations and years of going there, most of the people that like own property in these houses that are beachfront or almost beachfront are not from Jersey.
That's the kicker.
You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of really affluent people from New York that have jacked up the prices of beachfront property and raised the cost of ownership so much that people can't even afford to like rent and come down there. It's like a weird mutated cousin of gentrification. Like
Not
it's
weird
just
mutated cousin. Tara, I hate you.
I know.
But she's
But
right.
it's like it's the very much comes from the same place, right? Like it's just it, the Jersey Shore is in a weird spot right now, and I don't. I think what do you guys think? Like, do you think adding more fees to get on the beach is actually going to help the property owners there, or anything?
Yeah. Matt Thomas, let us know. What y'all thinking?
So I was thinking, I go to Wildwood like every summer on vacation with my family because it's like it's really like easier to just, drive like an hour south and then you have to pack up some food and stuff. But it's a lot easier than like making like a flight trip to like across the country.
Oh
And
yeah,
so every year we go there and we would get like a house that's pretty close to the beach because like that's perfect, right? You live in this house and then you can walk to the beach, you can walk to the boardwalk and like all these things are at your disposal. But if they're gonna make a price for the beach, that's gonna be like a lot worse because we usually like me and my family will go with like another family. And so if we have to have like 11 of us getting beach passes every like day, I don't know how that's gonna work, but
that's a
that's
Mhm.
like
lot
a
of
lot
money.
more money
Mhm.
than what we would usually spend because usually it's like it's less expensive than going on like a different vacation because all you really have to do is bring food and then live in the house and then like you can walk to the beach for free and it's like that would
Right,
like cancel it out kind of.
right. Like the whole thing about the Jersey Shore is it's like it's not it's not super expensive for us, or it's not supposed to be super expensive for us to go and do this, and for people in New Jersey to enjoy what we got and enjoy what makes our state special. And putting more costs up, I don't feel like is gonna end up helping anybody from Jersey.
First of all, I'm sorry to cut you off, Tara. How are you
No,
gonna
you're
charge
good.
somebody for sand and water that you don't own? Like I never understood that ideology. The sand and water was there long before you, sir. Sir.
You're not
That sand and
wrong.
water, and if you go far enough, because you can't own that whole stretch of beach. Like if you go far enough, because I did it one time, you go far enough, you're isolated,
Hmm.
calm, serene. I sound like audiobook guys. Serene,
A little bit, yeah.
at peace. You hear the waves crashing. Maybe I should do that. That would be my second career path. What do you guys think on Facebook?
Side gig, side gig. We
Side
got
gig.
Audibles in Jersey, so they can hook you up. But yeah, like it's weird, and it's been weird for a while how beach ownership gets decided and divided up. Like you could go way in depth onto that. Like just how where money goes when you pay like even like a beach badge or something. Like it's weird, and I feel like adding another cost barrier isn't actually going to help any of the business there. You're just going to choke it out. Like if you make it harder to get to, less people are going to go. If less people go, the less people are going to be spending money at all the businesses and restaurants and ice cream joints and arcades and boardwalk stuff. There's gonna be less people to spend money there if it's more cost prohibitive to even go in the first place. So I don't understand what this is. And like, also correct me if I'm wrong, but in Wildwood, there a lot of those aren't houses. They're like big hotels that own property on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're starting to do that.
So like, I don't know what property owners they're referring to. I got opinions.
Yeah. Honestly, when I saw this, I was like, yeah, this story is Tara. She loves her home state of New Jersey.
I do,
Um,
and just there's a lot of like good memories there, you know. So I don't. It's just weird to see people messing with it and starting to change what it's about. But
I actually haven't been to Wildwood in a while. Budumcha. I haven't been to Wildwood in a while, so
it's been a
um,
minute.
I haven't seen how the changes have, but I do notice that like stuff. I feel like if they do beach passes, they either need to lower the cost of everything else or make it like an all-inclusive type thing, or try to. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like even if you raise the price a little bit, if you're like, okay, if you buy just for the sake of numbers, $100 pass and you have it for like 6 hours, but you have access to, you can play 5 games with this, unlimited times. You can play.
Yeah, it's weird, and I don't fully understand exactly what the breakdown is of where the money goes for a beach pass and stuff, but just stuff like that weirds me out, you know. And I remember I got into it once with somebody down there because they were one of the people in Point Pleasant that owns, you know, a little bit of the property there, and they just real like stingy about it, you know, about that little like slice of beach that like Jaslyn said, like it's been there long before you have. But I don't know. I just think it's going from like my memories as a kid of being like, you know, my family being able to go there and stay for like 2 weeks over the summer, and then down to 1 week, and then now we just do day trips because you know cost.
What's your favorite thing to do there?
Everything do down the shore. I mean, just like being there, just getting time on the beach and maybe boardwalks and stuff. And
Their boardwalk is awesome. It's like my
Wildwood, yeah.
they have the best boardwalk like in New Jersey.
Oh, Wildwood's boardwalk is amazing. That wooden roller coaster down there is so much fun. You know the one
Oh,
I'm talking about.
the Great White.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. I
And
know
the
one of my favorite things to do there is like you wake up like probably like 6:30 in the morning, right? Before the sun comes up, and then you rent some bikes, and then you can bike along the boardwalk and you see like the sun coming up. It's a lot of
it's
fun.
beautiful. It's so flat too. Like
Yeah.
so biking and stuff like that is so much like
Yo,
it's
thoughts on the tram car?
watch the tram car, please.
My mom
Classic.
thought, hello everybody. My mom
Welcome back.
thought that, welcome. My mom thought that they should use Ludacris's move explicit, I'll get out the way, as a way as the washer cam car plays instead. Shout out to my mom. She has a very lovely sense of humor.
I would
But
love that. Every time you hit the horn, just like that happens.
yeah, just Ludacris. Gotta love Luda.
Luda.
Yes, sir. But we love we love Wildwood.
We do. And it's just I don't know. I could go for it being not as expensive to go down there, but that's just me.
Honestly.
What do I know?
But yeah, speaking of money and expenses and things costing too much, this is according to CNN, right? Citibank can't get back. Listen to this, y'all. $500 million it wired by mistake. Judge
I
ruled.
love this story. I love this story.
I mean, I guess that's just chicken change, apparently, because $500 million. If I lost it, I would know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, like I said, this is an article according to CNN. The article states after committing one of the biggest blunders in banking history, Citibank won't be allowed to recover the almost $500 million it accidentally wired to Revlon's lenders, a U.S. District Court judge ruled. Citibank, which was acting as Revlon's loan agent, Revlon, I'm assuming, is the makeup company, meant to send about $8 million in interest payments to the cosmetic company's lenders, yes. Instead, Citibank accidentally wired almost 100 times that amount, including $175 million to a hedge fund. In all, Citi accidentally sent 9 million to Revlon's lenders. Wow. Citibank filed a lawsuit in August seeking the return of its funds, but it still has not received $500 million from 10 investment advisory firms after the accidental transfer. Okay, so before I start talking, because you guys know I have a lot to say, what do you think?
Just like curious, like how?
It's just
That's what I think is just. Oh no, that's money that you and me will never, like, the three of us put together will probably never see that much money go
Like, is there,
past
like,
our
a button
eyes.
when you're about to like send money, like, are you sure you want to do this? And they're like, totally.
Yeah,
it's like maybe I don't understand finance, right? But
right.
it's like I'm reading it, right? Because I read the story yesterday. When Tara brought that to my attention, I was like, this got to be a joke, or there has to be like a loophole.
Right, or like a misleading headline or something.
You know, shock value, clickbait, you know what I'm saying? But it actually says you said actually $900 million. That's almost $1 billion. Do you know what one human being could do with $900 million? Like, and it's the word accident that's irking me in all of this.
Yeah.
How when you send somebody money on Cash App, doesn't ask you, are you sure? Like Matt just said, are you sure you want to complete this transaction? I think, you want to know what I think? Lenders, loan agents. Okay, so the law, so this is again, according to CNN, the law usually punishes those who spend money accidentally deposited in their accounts. Accidental transfers are common in the digital age where wires can be paid back instantly.
Right, that's what I was thinking when we first started this.
Exactly. So we thought that was gonna be the outcome, right? So it said a Pennsylvania couple faced felony charges after spending money accidentally deposited into their account. So sometimes we hear stories about people being accidentally given too much money and them supposed to return it. So I guess when you're a normal breathing human being, you can't have money. But when you're Revlon, you can keep $900 million. I guess that's the story in all of this.
Right. The New York law said that if the beneficiary is entitled to the money and did not know it was accidentally wired, they can keep it. Revlon lenders believe that Citibank was wiring payments for a loan. After all, the money accidentally wired was the exact amount to the penny that Citibank owed them, although the loan wasn't set to mature for quite some time. Okay, so I guess the logic here is that since they were eventually owed that much money anyway, they could just keep it. And the courts backed them up. That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. You have any good idea how many things could be fixed for that amount of money? Like how many cities could get clean water, how many people could get food, how many
exactly. Like how many kids can go to school, how many schools can be fixed.
Right. Or even how many gross politicians can be bought off to do the right thing. Like, it's like you could do serious change with it. They're just like, oops,
my bad.
I think you could buy 250 Bugattis if you wanted to.
Honestly.
Ballpark. I just the amount of money. This is stupid money, And if I was Citibank, I'd be livid. You imagine how mad they're gonna be when they're like, yeah, can we just get this back? And then the legal system is like, no.
They're gonna add the tongue in there, no.
Right.
That's like my 5-year-old niece. I don't wanna.
Yeah, I don't want.
I'm all right.
Right. Oh, Revlon's stock has to be balling right now.
Honestly, those of you who are on finance, I mean, if you ever get a chance today,
yeah, it is out of control.
You tweet us. see
at WMSC.
Let us know what's going on with Revlon stocks today, because
it's can you imagine like just the amount of arbitrary value that's been pumped into that stock right now? And it's funny too now because everybody's been talking about stocks a lot recently because of the the GameStop thing and everything, which is still funny to me. But this is wild. This is wild.
And disgusting. But
Yeah.
yeah. Before I throw up in my mouth a little bit more, and so we can digest that amount of money that's been accidentally thrown away.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a short break.
Please
Please
see you
listen
on
to
the other side. Keep it locked.
All right, welcome and welcome back to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. If you just missed it, $1 billion was misplaced, but that's all right.
Half a
because we're not
billy.
gonna talk
Half
about
a
it.
billy.
Half a billy was almost, well, actually, no, it was misplaced.
Well,
So.
you are listening to the Morning Buzz. We don't have that. We don't have your half a billion, but we do have myself, Tara, Jaslyn, and Matt bringing you the best stories
Which
of
is
the day.
priceless.
You can't put a price on that, But this next
If you
story
were, though,
is,
I think we'd be worth thousands.
yeah. I mean, we
Well, we
should.
are. I agree.
You should put a price on it. This next story's interesting. All the way from Chattanooga, Tennessee. So I've heard in my day and our time broadcasting, we've run across a fair few stories where people have tried to use different names to do things and get away with things that they can't do. It's happened a couple times. Never have I seen it like this. Alright? Police are charging a man from Chattanooga, Tennessee after they say he forged President Barack Obama's name on an application for a handgun permit. Chattanooga officers arrested Robert Joseph Halleck on February 11th. He's charged with perjury, forgery, and identity theft. The affidavit obtained by Channel 9 says Halleck has been denied a gun permit request using his own name back in November due to an active warrant for his arrest in the state of Michigan. So let me get this straight. All right? I just want to make sure truth is stranger than fiction. I just want to make sure I have this right. You had a warrant out for your arrest so you couldn't buy a gun in a different state. So to get around that, you decided to forge a gun permit using the name of former President Obama.
But Tara, let them know exactly how he did it. Because it's usually is funny. Exactly what he wrote on the application.
On January 21st, he wrote he wrote this, President Barack H. Obama, and with a $50 check. So he wrote the word president in front of it, just in case you didn't know who Barack Obama was.
Honestly. And I think that's the most hilarious part. Of course, we do not endorse stealing people's identities is not good.
Or, whatever this is. And also, by the way, he put a seal of the U.S. Department of State seal on the application.
So this man was really getting into character.
He's full method acting, full getting into, this is wild.
You picked the wrong career path, dude.
Yeah.
Should have went into method acting.
You could have been a contender, dude. This is, but my favorite part is that he put the word president, like we didn't know who Barack Obama was.
Honestly, like just some guy on the street, like I just in case you weren't 1,000% sure. Let me clarify.
Right. And also, oh no.
Oh gosh, what?
Oh no, there's more. At 2 a.m. today, New York Post claims that he sealed a letter with the official, again, United States seal with a second application. Hey, how did this... Wait a minute. Hold up. So, they're still getting applications from this dude. This is not...
a one and done. This is...
He was like, just in case you didn't hear me the first time.
Really wants a gun.
He wants, and like,
He
you
needs
can't,
a
like,
hobby.
he needs a hobby. Like, just, like, you couldn't go as, like, Bob Smith or some
And he-
generic, like,
It's like your first name is President, your last name is Obama. You need to get your life together.
right, like, you couldn't even, like, we don't condone doing crimes here on 90.3
Oh, of course.
WMSC.
We do
But
not approve that message.
you couldn't even put, like, a good fake name. You couldn't even be like, yeah, like Bob Smith applying for a gun, or, Joe, I don't know, Smith. I feel like Smith is always the go-to fake last name, stereotypically speaking. But I just like, and my favorite part too is, I'm not gonna show this guy's mugshot, but just looking at it, he's got this face of like, yeah,
I mean, I guess like that's
yeah,
that's the mood I get from him. It's giving real like, I mean, I guess like
yeah, you guys found out, huh? Look at that.
Yeah,
look at
I'm
that.
Obama. Yeah.
You know what? I don't understand how you guys saw through it, but you did. You got me. Fair is fair. That's what that face says to me.
Honestly, it looks like you got caught. Like, you know how your mom told you you cannot have a cookie because you didn't eat your dinner,
Yeah.
and you went ahead and got the cookie anyway. And it's like, well, dang,
Yeah.
we're here.
Here we are. Yeah. Very that. Very that. And it's just, I don't know. What a character. Idiot. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's move on to
Thanks,
the
sir.
next story.
I was trying to be nice, but I mean, I guess. So this is
I
about
was, and then I'm just like, idiot.
yeah.
I can't think of any. I was trying to think of like a good, synonym to close out with, but just
She was trying to be sweet, and then she decided,
anything
no,
else.
this is not.
Anything else would be non-FCC compliant. So I want to call this guy.
So for our final story of the evening, which is probably my favorite brand of comedy, it's called Florida Man, right? Because down in Florida, the lovely Sunshine State. I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
if the sun makes human beings act up a little bit down there, or whatever it is. But
It's like a Superman type thing. They draw energy from the sun, and it makes them do different things.
It's got to be, because there's really no other explanation. But
It doesn't make them fly. It makes them do other things.
equally weird things. But
Yeah.
this was published February 3rd, right? But I still felt compelled to share this with you all. Florida man with state tattooed on forehead. So he's repping the Florida real hard right here. Like, if, again, I can't show you the picture, but if you were to see, it's Florida, Panhandle, right here.
Uh-huh.
Calls 911, forget this, a ride home. He has been charged with the misuse of the 911 system, as well as possession of marijuana, authorities say. So this is an article written by FoxNews.com. And the article reads, a man with a Florida tattoo on his forehead has been arrested for calling 911, not once, but twice, to get a ride home, authorities said. Matthew Letham. Hey, Matt, your friend, your namesake is not behaving.
Tarnishing my name.
22 years old, dialed 911 to request a ride home after 4 a.m. in the Newport Richey suburb of Tampa on Sunday. This was Sunday prior to the 3rd of February, according to a criminal complaint. A Pasco County deputy found Letham and offered him a cab, but he said he didn't have the money, the complaint states. He then began walking in the direction that he lives and again called 911 for a ride. The officer caught up to him and arrested him as he was on the line, according to the complaint. Authorities say the officer searched Letham and found marijuana. He has been charged with the misuse of the 911 system as well as possession of marijuana. Now,
it's not a good day.
My dear Tara, please educate people as to why you cannot call 911 as your own personal Uber service, and maybe the rest of the lot will understand.
Right. It's one of those things where it's a funny story, but like underneath it is something that kind of, I feel like, needs to get acknowledged. It's it's not really a discussion that needs to be had as much as it's like just something people got to understand, right? Like in a past life, Tara was an EMT. I was an EMT for about it. I worked about a year in my town. And what happens when you call 911, at least for us, is we have to show up. We have to. Like, we can't say no to a 911 call, even if we like have a suspicion that it's not legit. We have to show up once we get the call. So like, if you're doing this, and I don't know, I guess this didn't happen in Florida. Maybe he was just straight up like on with dispatch, like I need a ride. But if you call like for an ambulance or something, like we got to show up. We have to. There's no way for us to like say, oh, this is garbage, we can't go. So what happens is even if we don't, even if it's just you're on the line with the dispatch, like the point is there's a limited number of resources with 911. You know what I mean? Like, and not that you shouldn't call if you need it, if you're having a medical emergency, your house is blowing up or something. Like, by all means. But like, we got a lot of calls where people like, will say they're sick or something just to get like a ride from, to the hospital or something without having to pay for whatever. And that's annoying, but it also ties us up. Like, what I remember the best example of this was once we had a call like this where it was from a facility who didn't want to pay the paid non-emergency ambulances. You see them around with like the company logos on the side and stuff. That's in non-emergency ambulances. Their job to move patients from point A to point B, right? And they didn't want to pay for it, so they called 911 and said they had an emergency when they didn't, right? And I remember we had this person in the in the ambulance, and we all kind of knew what was happening. And as we're in the ambulance, we get a call, or we hear on the radio, because fire, police, and ambulance share a radio, that there's a 5-alarm fire in the town. Right? So we're here dealing with a non-issue, and if anything, thank God it didn't, but if anything went wrong at that fire, we would have been tied up and they would have to call to a different town, which takes longer, okay, which is not a certainty. And it would have just been a mess. So like I feel like people take the 911 whole situation for granted sometimes and just like think that there's an infinite number an infinite number of people there to answer your calls and an infinite number of people to go out and do whatever, and it's not. And like in towns like mine, people aren't getting paid for that. It's a volunteer service. So I'm not trying to discourage you from calling 911 if you have to, but if you know it's not an emergency, like I don't know, like this dude, you need a cab or something, or you need a ride from point A to point B or whatever, then like don't do that. Don't do that. Don't call 911 for that. Call 911 for an emergency. Don't call 911 for that.
You can see
That's
the
my
stress
speech.
characters. Thank you.
That's my
Taylor.
TED talk for the day.
That's honesty, and thank you for that bit of education, because I realize a lot of people, like, as you know, sometimes we like to kiki and things like this. It's also teachable moments, right?
Right.
911 is for emergencies. That's why they made it a 3-digit number so you can remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't call because you're high and need a ride home.
Right. Like, just like think about it, like literally, right? Like you call, that's a line, like it works like any other phone line. Like the line is taken up by you, and that dispatcher is like, there's more than one dispatcher, obviously, but that dispatcher is dealing with you, and that there, instead of there could be somebody else on the line in the worst situation in the world, and now it's harder for them to get through because you're on line one. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's my piece. I'm not saying don't call. If you need to, absolutely call. Don't hesitate. But yeah, it's don't call for a cab ride.
Please don't. All right. Well, you already know this is one of my favorite segments, Tara.
Mm-hmm.
Tara, what, what's the segment? I'm getting too excited. What is who is about to talk?
Thomas is here, and he's about to talk about music things, which I'm always excited for. So, what you got, Thomas? Also, how are you? How are you
How
doing?
you guys doing? How are you? I'm great.
We're great.
All right. I'm living in Vocal Fry, apparently, but that's all right.
All right, well, I'll just go right into it. In music news, the New York Times original documentary film Framing Britney Spears has taken the world by storm. As part of its New York Times Presents series on Hulu, the 74-minute-long film highlights the issues Spears encountered early on in her career in an in-depth look into how the pop star ended up in conservatorship under her father, Jamie Spears. Conservatorship cases typically involve elderly subjects, but Jamie Spears was granted conservatorship of his daughter's financials after applying for it following several high-profile public incidents in the late 2000s. Since then, she has remained under conservatorship, and the Free Britney movement among her fan base has gained significant traction in the past few years, with the movement gaining many more followers since the release of the documentary, and has also resulted in Justin Timberlake offering a public apology on social media to Spears for his actions following their 2002 breakup, and to Janet Jackson for his part in her 2004 Super Bowl wardrobe malfunction. In other music news, Taylor Swift took to social media this last week to announce that she will be re-recording her second studio album, Fearless, which was originally released 13 years ago in November 2008, and was the pop star's first ever Billboard #1 album. This is in accordance with Swift's plans to eventually re-record her first 6 albums, with this version of Fearless being titled Fearless Taylor's Version. Swift posted on Instagram a picture of the new version's album cover, with a caption stating that the album will include 26 songs, including 6 songs that have never been released before, giving Taylor Swift fans, also known as Swifties, all the more reason to be excited. While Swift never gave an exact date for the album's release, the Instagram post also included the message from Taylor to her fans, with a closer look at this message revealing certain letters in the message are capitalized, and when put in order, spell out the words April 9th. Later that night, Swift released a re-recorded single from the upcoming project, Love Story Taylor's Version. This newer version first saw its public debut in a Match.com ad in December of last year. At the time of its original release, Love Story dominated the airwaves and was Swift's second Billboard Top 10 hit. Since then, she has earned 27 more Top 10 hits. Despite this re-release coming out an entire 13 years later, Swift's original work is still proving to be popular today, as it is estimated that Love Story Taylor's Version garnered 5.8 million streams on its first day alone. Swift had an extremely busy and successful 2020 with the release of 2 surprise albums, Folklore and Evermore, to acclaim from both fans and critics alike. And it looks like she has no plans of taking a break anytime soon. So I was just wondering, what do you guys? Let's talk about the Britney Spears doc for a second. I'm not sure if you guys had seen that yet.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah, same here. I knew about her conservatorship thing like a while ago. I mean, I just found out about it when everybody else did, but like I've known about it for a while. So I mean, I'm glad they're bringing awareness to it, but I just kind of hope that they're going to utilize this. It comes like it's on Netflix, right? The doc.
It's on Hulu.
Hulu. I hope that Hulu does something too, because I heard, I don't know if it's definitive or not, but I did hear that I think another streaming platform wants to make another doc, because Britney has had a very, very successful career, and she's still relatively young. Like she's not that old. So like, you know, in her very short life, like she's had a very successful career. And I feel so bad about because everybody, we would make fun of Britney, you know, for shaving her head and stuff, but it's like, she was actually going through it. Like there's a picture that resurfaced with one of her children when they were just a newborn, and she was trying to hide out from the paparazzi in a restaurant. Owner wouldn't hide her. So she just sat there crying with her baby in her hand.
Yeah, it does suck considering, you know, like we all thought at the time, like, oh, it was funny to watch. But then again, we were like in elementary school, middle school.
I was going to say, that was like 2007.
Yeah, we were kids. So, you know, I don't blame us for laughing. Like, come on. We found everything funny.
Looking back on it now, we realize how in serious trouble Britney was and how much help she needed.
Still does. Like, this brings up a lot of interesting conversations, too, about mental health and, like, you know, what happens when people are in a crisis and what can happen, rather. It's not, you know, obviously it doesn't happen all the time, but, like, stuff that needs to get talked about, you know?
Yeah, for sure. The documentary was very insightful. I heard that she was under conservatorship, but I didn't really didn't know what that meant. The documentary just really cleared up a lot of things about what exactly that means, how she ended up in this position. and pretty much why she needs to get out of this position.
Right.
Mhm.
It's heavy stuff, and it's stuff, I think it's cool that a lot of mental health stuff is being talked about more now. And I think this is part of that. Also,
Yeah.
why Justin Timberlake mouthing getting his 2 cents in on this? Who asked?
You wanna know why? Because people have been, because you wanna know something, right? I'm a media student, and I'm also a media consumer. I've noticed that it's been bubbling. Like, you know how in quarantine folks have been bored, okay? So that's why a lot of people's dirty laundry has been airing out. So people are retaking a look at his, Super Bowl performance with Janet that got her banned, by the way, not him, her. That got her
not just got her banned, but literally changed the media landscape in the United States with her name on it.
With Janet Jackson, is probably, not to change the course of the conversation, but she's probably one of the few people, like, your brother's Michael Jackson, and you were never referred to as Michael Jackson's sister. You are a star in your own right, and she still is a star. Okay, so she is a pop icon. I said what I said. The fact that there's so many different speculations that it happened on purpose. She did it last minute. She wanted something and it went left, right, up, down, left, center. I don't know what happened, but the fact that she got a lot of backlash and she got blacklisted, and this man's career skyrocketing. And the thing is, he never really addressed it until now.
2021.
You know what I'm saying? And I understand that sometimes when things happen, you're not going to really realize it until it's brought to your attention. So I'm not saying that, maybe he's not being genuine, but it's just kind of like, at the same time, I'm just kind of like, JT.
Right.
I don't know. You knew. Come on. That's all I have to say on that.
And also, I don't know. I've thought that since, Maroon 5 got on and dude took his shirt all the way off and nobody batted an eyelash,
That's
exactly.
It's just maybe we owe this woman an apology. This is a little much. It's crazy, now, if you go back and read what actually happened, you can watch the video of the Super Bowl performance. The second time's a charm of the big game performance where Janet Jackson had the wardrobe malfunction and stuff. You can watch that, but if you go and read the litigation and stuff that happened afterwards, it's ridiculous.
You guys know that's the reason why YouTube's a thing, right? Y'all know that's the reason why YouTube's a thing, because one of the co-creators of YouTube wanted to find the video, but he couldn't find it online. So that's why YouTube was created.
It just it's so it's in the scope of things, it's such a non-issue, but it was just it was wild. It was and the complaints to Viacom, complaints to the FCC, laws and stuff getting altered, and the stuff about media being on a delay, a 7-second delay if it's live. Everything was changed just because of this one stupid thing, and she took the brunt of the blame for that.
Of course.
So I just it's wild. It's wild, and I don't understand why Timberlake needs to get brought up and get his 2 cents in. Whatever, dude. Hair look like noodles. Away from me.
I'm dead.
Well,
but shout out to T Swift though.
There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout out to T Swift. We did talk about this. I don't know if our lovely listeners remember last semester we did talk about this, and the whole record label ordeal and her not being able to get her rights back.
Yeah, which is why she's doing all the re-recording.
Exactly. So that's if you didn't know, now you know. So I love it for her. I'm sad. It sucks that she had to go through this, Taylor Swift. If she had to go through this, imagine any other smaller up and coming artist having to deal with this. So, I'm glad that she was able to find a way. I might take a listen because I haven't heard Love Story since middle school. So
it's been a hot minute. What were you saying, Thomas?
My older sister was and still is a huge Swiftie, so I had to grow up listening to Love Story on repeat. nonstop.
So you just like done with it?
Well, I grew to like it, but
It's
Okay.
like grew to love.
it's and I'm pretty excited because now it's gonna give me memories of when I was in elementary school and my older sisters would just blast love story and be like, "This is good." This reminds me of simpler times. So I'm also very much looking forward to Fearless coming out again.
Fearless round 2,
Fearless round 2.
the re-up.
It sounds like a boxing match.
Oh, rematch, match. It's very that, but it's if you're a Swiftie, you're gonna be happy because there's a whole bunch of new and redone music coming from that camp.
Also,
But-
real quick, sorry,
What's
it's
up?
also the Fearless Television is also coming out on my girlfriend's birthday. I just wanted to shout that out, and she's a major Swiftie as well. So
Ooh, very cool.
Love all around.
But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into the Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. For Thomas, Matt, Jazz, and all of our news people, both here and getting their wisdom teeth yanked, I've been Tara. We'll see you
I've been
guys. Morning Buzz every weekday at 8. Deuces.
Bye.